I will show you how to sculpt this female Asian face inside Blender in the easiest way possible without confusing with anatomical terms like sternocleidomastoid, maxillary arch, or whatever, bro. You don't need that. You're an artist. You're not a doctor. Okay, this is a step-by-step course, so close all tabs. Just give me this length of the tutorial and I will help you sculpt this step-by-step from scratch. I just want to make a really quick announcement, and that is that I'm relaunching the DaVinci School in October. And before I do that, I'm offering a limited time discount, and I've brought the price down to $29 a month. So you can go ahead and join right now. What you will get is all of these courses. These are top quality courses. You will get access to weekly calls where you can get help directly from me and other community members. We will have live sculpting workshops where we will sculpt the same reference. You also get access to a community of serious artists, so you can share your work, they will comment under it, you can interact with other like-minded people, you can read all of the testimonials here. And yeah, don't delay this. And if you join right now, you will lock this subscription for life. So when in October I relaunch this community and the price goes up, you will still be paying the promotional price, which is right now. All right, and with that out of the way, let's move on to our reference. And this is the reference that we will be sculpting. Now, if you are a Jerry, you can skip forward to the timestamp. I timestamp my videos. So you can go ahead to the timestamp, start sculpting, but let me tell you, this is not going to help you. The reason this is not going to help you is because you have made zero context and you will continue to struggle. All right. We have some rules. If you're a subscriber, you already know them. Go ahead, by all means, jump to the timestamp. But if you're new, just know that the only rule here is do not be a Jerry. Don't be a Jerry, bro. What is a Jerry? A Jerry is someone who skips around. So for example, you're watching this tutorial, suddenly you start to feel bored. And then you're like, oh, I wonder how he makes the Asian eyes. Bro, you will not understand how I made an Asian eye. You will struggle. The second thing a Jerry does is that he does not perform. So a Jerry thinks that, yeah, I can learn how to swim by watching a swimmer. Yeah, hell yeah, bro. You can't. You have to get wet. So if you want this tutorial to really help you, then bro, just watch it. Watch it on 2x speed if you have to. But do perform it with me. If you do not perform, if you do not get your hands dirty, there's no point watching this tutorial. Please do not waste your time. Go watch someone else. This channel is not for you. Alright? So just these simple rules, just don't be a Jerry. And with that said, let's first observe our reference. Let me tell you some distinguishable qualities of an Asian face. Now, I've already made a tutorial on a generic face and a female face, so you can go check that out. I also have a free 30-day challenge, health sculpting challenge. You can see the kind of results that members have gotten in 14 days, 11 days, 30 days, 20 days, bro. And they all start somewhere here, okay? Everyone's a noob, and you can see the kind of progress that they make. This course is absolutely free. All the links are going to be in the description, so you can go check it out. I have made enough context, bro. So if you're just watching this tutorial and you're struggling, there's enough resources. Just go here, learn how to make a generic face, and then you can understand these concepts even better. So let's understand some of the principles or some of the distinguishable qualities of an Asian face. The first thing that I want to tell you is that Asian faces have all of the features of the face, like the eyes, nose, very linear. Their faces are pretty flat. And Asian eyes are very interesting. They are my favorite eyes. Okay, so I have some references over here that I loaded up, and you can see, look at how close all of the features of the face are. Okay, I can just touch them all with a single line. They are that close. Also, the most distinguishable feature of Asians is, of course, their beautiful Asian eyes. And why is that? That happens because they don't have very deep eye sockets. And from previous tutorials and previous heads that we've made, tutorials that I made, you know that in between the upper eyelid and the eyebrow, there is this layer of fat, okay, in every human being. But this is absent in case of Asians. So they do not have this layer of fat. What they have instead is a layer of skin which wraps around the upper eyelid. And in most cases, you can't even see, like you can see the crease, you can see the upper eyelid, you can see the upper eyelid here, you can see the crease of the upper eyelid, okay, you can see it everywhere. But in Asian faces, it's very rare, okay? You can see no eyelid. It's because their eyelids go inside this layer of skin, which is super interesting, bro. Just look at this. Damn. So no layer of fat, they won't have very deep eye sockets, and they will have this layer of skin over their eyes or the eyelids. Sometimes you can see upper eyelids, okay, but a lot of times you won't even see them. So yeah, you can see some other generic faces, other generic races. You can see how far behind the eye socket is. Okay, you can see over here, even in NRDMAS, you can see her layer of fat. You can see upper eyelid exposure, but not in the case of Asians. Very little upper eyelid exposure, and it just wraps inside this layer of skin, which is so interesting. Okay, you can see how deep these eye sockets are. You can see this layer of fat. You can see the upper eyelid. Okay, you can see the layer of fat over here. You can see the upper eyelid here. You can see how much shadow is being casted here. This shows deep eye sockets. But in case of Asians, you can see how close these features are to the face. Okay, now with this context, you can easily understand the reasoning that I will be doing inside the sculpt. All right. And what I want you to do is to go ahead, download this reference, just watch me sculpt, follow along with me. The reason I make this step by step is so that you perform this with me. Okay, if you don't perform this with me, there's no point, bro. You're being a Jerry, and I don't want Jerry's on my channel. Okay, so just go ahead. The link for the reference is going to be in the description. Go ahead and download it, and let's move on to Blender. Okay, I've already loaded it here in the image editor as well. And of course, like always, I will explain all of my reasoning. So let me just grab my graphic tablet pen here, and let's begin sculpting. Let me turn on screencast before I forget to do it. All right, perfect. Let me enable symmetry. And yeah, the first thing that I like to do is to just simply observe my reference. Generic proportions that you need to know, which you already know if you watch previous tutorials, is that the eyes are always halfway the length of the face. Okay, and you can see that, yeah, it's fairly true in this reference as well. The next proportion that we take into account is from the eyebrow down to the chin. Halfway this would be the bottom of the nose. And yeah, in this case, that seems to be true as well. Then the next proportion that we know is that halfway the bottom of the nose and the chin is the bottom lip. So let's check. So about here, and yeah, this falls quite inside the generic proportion. So this is good. All right. What I like to see is this width of the chin, which in this case is a bit wide. I mean, comparing to generic females, usually females have very, very narrow chins, but in this case, we can see that it's a bit wide. So we will make it wide as well. Okay. And yeah, let me just tell you that my goal with sculpting is never to sculpt 100%. I don't want to sculpt 100% of this lady right here. As long as I'm in the ballpark, as long as it's something inspired by this reference as well, I'm completely content. Okay, so I'll pull it down. The next thing that I like to observe is this angle of the jaw. Okay, in which case I will bring this down. I will also move the features of the face a bit closer. Okay, just to make a bit of a generic face. Now this looks good. Now I will go to the side view. And what I like to look at the side view is this angle of the jaw. And this is what I would have as well. So I will pull this part of the face just to mark this angle of the jaw. All right. And yeah, you can see that the jaw, it always comes halfway the face. Okay, so that is how much I've pulled this as well. Now a change that I see right now that I need to make is the ball of the head. Okay, so you can see that the ball of the head ends here, but in this case you can see that the ball of the head, like this ball of the head, it almost ends halfway the face. So I need to bring this up. Okay, so let's move this up. Let's adjust the jaw again. Yeah, I want to adjust the shape of the head as well. Okay, so just using the move brush right now, I did not add any geometry, not anything. I want to keep everything low poly. I want to be happy with the overall shape first, and then I will proceed with adding more geometry. Okay, so I can see that, yeah, the head is super fairly round, nothing too fancy. Everything's looking good. Okay, let's just bring this here. And yeah, let's look at it from the front view. So from the front view, this looks good, but I still want the widest area of the head to be here. So you can see that this does follow the generic proportion. The widest part of the head is right here, and also the face has a bit of a taper, which is nice. So let's go to the top view, and the widest area should be about here. Okay, this is because from the top the head should resemble an egg shape. Okay, so this is going to be the widest area. Let's look at from the front, about here. And yeah, so far so good. Now that I'm happy with the base mesh, it looks something similar. I will proceed with adding geometry. So I will just press Ctrl R and remesh with whatever the default value is. Now I want to make a block out for the neck. So for the neck, what I like to do is I like to make a circle. And I'm being very careful because in the females, the neck is going to be narrower than the jaw. So you can see the width of the jaw here, and you can see the width of the neck here. And you can see that there's quite an offset between these two. Okay, so this is very important. If you make, let's say, a circle like this, and if you extrude this out, now she's going to look like a she-male. She's going to look like a strong wrestler, bodybuilder woman. Okay, or just like a lady boy. But we don't want that. Okay, we want it to be feminine. So for that, we want the circle to be small. And now when we extrude out the neck, it looks much more feminine. Okay, from the side view, let's see the shape of the head. Let's bring it down like this. Okay, I want to remove this, remesh this once again, so I have a bit of an equal distribution of geometry. And from the back of the head, you can see that this is a very smooth transition, not very sudden like this. So I'll just simply smooth the back of the head. Okay. And yep, another very important thing that you want to be sure of from the side view is this. Okay, this triangle shape. This is very, very important. Okay, so what I like to do for this triangle shape is I just use the clay strips brush and I fill in this area. And yeah, by default, your radius setting would be off. So do enable this so that it is affected by the pressure of your graphic tablet. Okay, and what I will do is I will just fill in this area. Okay, and you can see as soon as I fill in this area and smooth it a bit, now from the side view, I also have this triangle shape. Okay, so this is important to fill in. All right, so far so good. Okay, now the neck is it's a bit too thin, so let's adjust that. We'll make this a bit wider. Okay, we can make this wider from the back as well. So from the back view, just make it a bit wider. We can also make a rough block out for the traps. Okay, so just so that we can also sculpt this much. So from the back, just pull out just like this. Okay, because the trap muscles, they are in the back of the, they are behind the neck. Okay, don't pull it from the side. This is wrong. This is so bad. Pull it from behind. Okay, and from the bottom, we'll just even this a bit, just so that we can make a bust. Okay, I'm just moving around, wiggling around so that I have a bit of the neck shape. All right, perfect. Now let's add a bit more geometry because we want to make the extrusion for the ear. Press R, make the grid a bit smaller. And the way I like to remesh is I just do it intuitively. There's no fixed value that I aim for. Okay, now it's time for ear, so it should be 0.1. No, just do it intuitively. The general rule of thumb is that you don't want to add more geometry unless you can squeeze out some detail from the previous level. So only when you need some detail is when you add more geometry. Once you're happy with the step before, then you add more geometry. Okay, because yeah, this is the most important stage. And you can see it's so much easier if I want to smooth stuff. Okay, if I want to move stuff, this is so much easier. If I want to add, let's say, eye sockets, because it's low poly, it's so much easier right now. But let's say this was a bit high poly. I just go too high poly from the get-go. Now it's going to be hard to move stuff. Okay, I have a lot more geometry to move around. It's going to be hard. If I want to smooth stuff, let's go a bit more high poly. Yeah. Okay, if I try smoothing now, you can see that it doesn't really smooth that well. Okay, this is because the higher the poly, the harder the clay. Okay, so this much is just enough. Okay, from the side view, what I like to do is, yeah, I already marked the jaw, but it's a bit flushed out. So I'll just use the move brush to just wiggle around a bit and just get a bit of this shape of the jaw. All right, looks good. Now right behind the jaw, you can see almost in the middle of the face. So if I draw a line here, okay, in this entire width, you can see almost in the middle is where the ear begins. So I will use the mask brush and I will make a mask like this, just a bit of a tube form like this. Press Ctrl I and let's pull this out. Okay, this right here, my friends, is the stick. This is what a Jerry does. So you really want to pull out the ear. Okay, just pull it out like this. And if you feel like you cannot adjust the shape here, just smooth a bit and then move it around. You want to aim for like a generic shape of the ear. It doesn't really matter. A generic shape is just a C shape. So it goes up, curves, goes down, comes back up. Okay, that is enough. Make sure it doesn't stick out too much like an elephant. Make sure it doesn't not stick out too much like your two little flaps, but just something in between. Look at your reference, and yeah, just a basic shape like this is fine. Okay, yeah, just shape it like C shape, like I told you. Smooth this a bit. And yeah, we will just block it out for now. We won't really worry about the details. Next thing I like to do is I like to use the draw brush and I like to mark this cheekbone. So you can see this protrusion right here. Okay, so I just mark this roughly with the cheekbone about the center of the ear. You want to use the draw brush to make a bit of this protrusion, dig a bit below it and dig a bit like this, just a bit like this. And then of course, smooth it out a bit. This just gives you a landmark for the cheekbone. Okay, good. What else you can do? What you can do over here as well is mark the chin. So this shape, just make an inverted U shape or just an N shape like this. Dig a bit like this and then of course smooth this out. This gives you this dip for the chin. All right, good. What else? Let's mark out the eyes. So like I showed you, the eyes are in the middle of the face. Usually what I like to do with the eyes is I like to dig in almost this deep, dig the bridge this deep, and yeah, boom, 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 boom. But in this case, I won't dig them a lot because I showed you that the features of the Asian face, they are very close to the face. So what I will do is right in the middle, I will just make a bit of a protrusion like this. Or not a protrusion, a depression like this. Cut it a bit like this. Yeah, we want to dig a bit here for the bridge of the nose, so that we have this bridge. Dig down and away, even this out. Yeah, just smooth gently. Okay, not too deep. Okay, from the side view, I like to see this dip. So from the forehead, you can see that there's a bit of a dip right here in front of the eyes. So I will make this dip, just a very subtle dip. Now for the nose, we already studied that from here, the eyebrow to the bottom of the chin, right here would be the bottom of the nose. So let's pull this out like this. Okay, just pull out a shape that you can see here. I can also see that the nose is a bit tipped up. So this is an important landmark. I will make it tipped up as well. Yeah, I will push this in on the edges. The reason I'm pushing it in on the edges is because you can see this bridge of the nose. Okay, so this should be visible. And in our case, it is now visible as well. Good. Let's move it out a bit. And yeah, you should really notice this is a very common mistake that people make the nostril. So for example, this is the nose and the face. What they do is they make the nostril like this. And this sucks, bro. This is so bad, so bad. The nose is not on the surface. But if you look over here, the nose is actually inside the face. Okay? It's almost halfway inside the face. So you really want to have this shape as well. Okay? This should go inside the face. Good. So far, so good. Let's look at the front view. I see that the nose is a bit more narrow. Okay? And from the bottom, of course, it is wide. Okay? So just adjusting the shape of the nose. By the way, if you feel like I'm going too fast or you're unable to keep up with me, bro, I'm literally going step by step. You've just not watched the free 30-day head sculpting challenge. It's a complete detailed course. Go ahead, watch that, and this tutorial will be a lot more easier. I'm sure this is already quite easy, but just in case you're unable to follow, go ahead, watch that free course. It will set you up for things. All right, perfect. So this is looking good, but yeah, the nostril, like I told you, we want to pull them inside the face a bit. Nice. All right, let's block out the mouth. I feel like the nose is a bit too long, so let's do a rough proportion check. So from the eyebrows down to the mouth, about halfway. Yeah, just a tad bit up should be fine. Okay. And yes, now is the turn for the mouth. So for the mouth, let's add a bit more geometry now. We are quite low poly. Just want to make sure of things. Yep, looks fine. I feel like the forehead can be brought back a bit. Okay, the way that I like to check this, all right, and you should check the side view as well. Side view for the females is very important. You know, sculpting a female face is not hard. Sculpting a beautiful female face is hard. And for that, we need to stay true to our reference. The way I like to do this is I go to the side view. By the way, here's another trick. So let's say you press 3, you're on the side view. You can press Control 3 to get on the other side view. Okay. And what I like to do here is I like to draw an imaginary line. So from the forehead down, I draw this straight vertical line. And I do the same thing in my reference as well. Now, the purpose of this line is just to study the features. Now, I can see that the nostril is almost on this line. It's the same protrusion as the forehead. The nostril goes all the way out. I can see that the upper lips goes out. Even the lower lip goes out a bit. The chin is on this line. And if I look at my sculpt now, so these things are not true. Okay, you can see my nostril is behind this line. My lips are behind this line. They should be ahead, like in the reference. My chin is way behind. It's not on the line. So these are some things that I like to compare. So this tells me that I need to bring my mouth forward, or I can bring my forehead backwards. Either way works. It's all relative. Okay. And if I draw this line again, like this, then I remember that, yeah, this looks better. The nostril should be on the line. The mouth and chin should be ahead as well. Okay, and the chin is almost on the forehead line. So let's do this comparison one more time. So from the forehead down, straight line. In nostril, let's draw it here as well. From the forehead down, straight line. Okay, the chin is almost on the line, good. The front lip is ahead, good. The nostril, yeah, good. Yeah, this looks much better now. Okay, so do make this. This is just a trick on how to compare your sculpt side view to your reference side view. Okay, another thing that I can observe from the front view is that you can see that the chin is pretty, that the jaw goes up quite a bit, but in this case it does not. So I want to move this up as well. We can also compare this on the side view. So on the side view, I can see that I need to bring this forward a bit. Okay, and this needs to go up. Okay, so always use the reference. Your reference is king. Reference is always the answer sheet. The head does not go so back, so much behind. This part is relatively straight, I can see here. And this can come forward as well. All right, so this looks better. I don't like the shape of the head from the front, so I want to adjust this. Okay, also having a bit of a taper to the face. And yeah, whenever you spot mistakes like this, always adjust. Don't shy away from adjusting your mistakes. You know, art is just a process of fixing your mistakes. Nothing will ever be perfect from the get-go. So whenever you see something feels a bit wrong, go ahead and adjust it. Okay, now this looks good. What I will do next is I will add more geometry. Okay, so let's add a bit more geometry. This looks fine. I think a bit lower would be fine as well. Okay, perfect. Let's use the draw shape brush and let's start making the mouth. So for the mouth, I already showed you that the bottom of the lip is almost in the center here. A bit above would be the center of the mouth. Let's just dig this in. Okay, just dig something with the draw shape brush. And with the grab brush, what I want to do now is I want to make the shape of the lip. Okay, so just looking at this shape and moving it up to make something similar. Okay. The bottom lip, I'll just smooth it out a bit. Especially the edges of the mouth, you should always smooth them. From the side view, I want to see the angle on the lips. So here, you can see that the upper lip is ahead of the lower lip. I can see a bit of this curve right here. So I will have that as well. Okay, here should be the lower lip. I can see this. This is very plump. So let's bring it out. Let's push this in. Yeah, the mouth can be brought down a bit. You see the chin is not this long. So let's just mask this area. Let's invert this and bring the mouth down a bit. Let's check the proportions. So right here, about halfway. Okay, this looks fine. Good. Okay, let's smooth out these. Always smooth the edges of the lower lip. You can see that the upper lip, it's very prominent, but the lower lip, yeah, it's very flush with the lower mouth. Make it a bit more round. From the bottom view, do make sure that the mouth is round. This looks bad. Let's bring it out. It's gonna be a very plump lip. Okay, make this plump as well. Just make sure that the mouth is round shape. Okay, the reason we want to make sure this is round is because we have teeth below the mouth, under the mouth, and the teeth are in a curved shape. The mouth wraps around it. Okay, so it needs to be round as well. And yeah, let's use the draw brush. Let's dig this whole thingy here, this cavity thing here. Yeah, right now everything is just low poly. I'm not worried about the details. I'm just worried about getting things in. I can always adjust the proportions. All right, the edges of the mouth, yeah, I mean, in this case, this looks okay. Check it from the side view. Yeah, this part really goes in. But we do not have enough geometry, so let's return to this point later. We have a rough block out, and for now, that is good. Okay, adding more geometry is just a trap. I'm just using the crease brush to tighten these things. Adding more geometry is a trap because later it's just gonna be so much more painful to adjust things. Okay, right now just focus on getting a generic shape. All right, looks good. Now for the eyes. For the eyes, what I usually do is I make the fat layer first, like this. And then I make a rough block out for the eye and then I smooth it out. Okay, but in this case, in the Asian case, yeah, I told you there's the fat is just almost non-existent. Let me just straighten this out a bit. So what I do is I just take the clay shapes brush and I make a whole block out like this, just to indicate where the eyes would be. Okay, and from the side view, you want to make sure that this has a bit of an angle. Okay, so the upper part should be a bit ahead of the lower part. Okay, you can see here as well. You can see this angle thingy going on. Okay, so this is what we want as well. And now you can see how less the distance is here. Here it is a bit too much. So let's bring this back or bring this forward. Yeah, this looks good. Okay, like I told you, the features of the Asian face, they are very close to the surface of the face. And you already might be getting some Asian vibes. Okay, let's just smooth a bit around here. Okay, let's also work on the ear before it gets too messy. What I will do is I will make it a bit smaller. This feels a bit too big. Also, now that we have the rest of the features, we can look at the proportion of the ears as well. So the way you want to check the proportions for the ears, go to the side view, go to the side view here. Yeah, just look. So you can see that the bottom almost nose height, the top almost the eyes height. Let's do a check over here as well. The bottom is a bit below the nose and the upper one, yeah, the upper one looks fine. So I will just make the ear a bit smaller. Just move it up a bit. All right, let's smooth it. All right, looks good. And yeah, for the ear, you always just want to imagine a 9 shape. Let me draw it for you. You want to imagine a 9 shape, and then you want to imagine this Y shape. Okay, that is it. Let me draw it with the mouse so it's a bit more precise. My graphic tablet just doesn't work with this application really well. So you can see that you have this 9 shape. In this case, it's inverted, but you get the point. And we have this Y shape. Okay, you also have a bit of this cavity, but it's super simple. Let me show you how to do this. So just use a draw brush, and you want to imagine the 9 shape like this. So just make the 9 shape, but yeah, don't complete the 9 shape like this. Okay, just make the top of the 9 shape up till here. That is it. And you want to complete the 9 shape from the outside. Okay, so bring the draw brush from the outside, dig it in, and really dig in this part. Okay, dig. Okay, you really want to dig this in. You can use the grab brush to make this flap of the ear. And yeah, wait, let me tell you one thing, bro. The ears, no one cares about the ears. As long as they look something like an ear, as long as it's a generic ear, no one cares. I bet if I show you a picture of your mother's ear, you won't be able to recognize it's your mom. You won't be able to recognize. So ears don't matter, really. You can learn to sculpt one ear very well, and you can use it for every character that you ever sculpt. Okay, so right now I will just dig in this part as well. Like I'm digging this cavity right here. So look at my mouse. This part right here, I'm digging this hole. Okay, it goes a bit lower as well here. Dig this here, and yep, I cannot sculpt anymore because you see it's very low poly. I can press Ctrl R so that it distributes equally. Now I'll make the 9 shape, smooth it out, dig a bit here for the ear hole, make this flap thingy, and you can either leave it this here and come back to it later, or if you just want, you can roughly block it out. So just smooth this towards the top right here. Just smooth it very subtly towards the top. Use the draw brush and now make the Y shape. So just dig a bit of a dimple here, and boom, you have a good looking ear. Okay, let's look at the front view of the ear. And yeah, this looks good enough. Okay, ears are super simple, bro. You don't need to complicate them. And yeah, believe me, no one cares about the ears. Just learn to sculpt one good ear, and you can use it for every sculpt. All right, so far so good. I think we can also work on the eyes now. Yeah, so for the eyes, what I like to do is just go here, zoom in, and yeah, we would need a bit more geometry. Let's look at the side view. I don't like how the forehead is looking. I just want to make sure that this is fine. No, it's not fine. You can see that my forehead, it's protruding forwards, whereas this one slants back. So you can see here, this one slants back a bit, whereas mine goes forward and then comes back. This is bad. Okay, so I'll use the grab brush and move this behind like this. Let's just moving this behind like this. And yeah, this looks so much better. So yeah, always observe your reference. Okay, you always want to look, sculpt, look, sculpt. You don't want to sculpt and then decide, oh yeah, maybe I should look at the reference. No, bro. Look at your reference and then make a conscious decision on what you want to do and why. All right, so we're here now. Let's add a bit more geometry. Yeah, this is, we're ending towards the end game. What I can do right now as well is block out this muscles of the neck. So right behind the ear, just use the draw brush. So from the behind the ear, just make a bit of this tube down here that connects here. So you can see it connects here. You can dig right here, dig away here, and then just smooth. Okay, the muscles of the neck in the female, they're gonna be very subtle. Very subtle. You don't want to overdo this. I can make the collarbone indication right here, just a bit, nothing too fancy, and I can dig a bit here. Okay, for the neck. And you can see that I made the muscles very subtle. And use the draw brush and yes, cut it a bit like this, and then of course smooth. And yeah, one big mistake, do not make the Adam apple like this. Okay, this is a very manly feature. Don't have this. She will look like a she-male. Don't do this, bro. Just keep it very subtle, very subtle. Draw brush, and yes, I can dig a bit here, just smooth it out. And yes, I won't disturb this too much. On the back, you can just make a separation in the center like this, and then just smooth it out. All right, you can also make this, so this muscle, it does split a bit here. You can have this as well. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend going too much into this. If you really want to study female anatomy, then by all means, bro, go here, check out my course. It is on a discounted price, so you will get a step-by-step course on sculpting anatomy. And yeah, a lot of my members have very positive things. So female anatomy course, female anatomy course, female anatomy course. It's my favorite course as well. Okay, but we won't really dive too much into it right now. Let's focus on the face again. So here, let's work on the eyes. Let's go a bit more high poly because the eyes require a lot of detail. Let's go high poly. Here, Control R, and it didn't crash. Good. Let's go to the draw sharp brush, and from the front view, you just want to see the shape of this eye. So you can see things that I like to notice on the eye is where is the outer corner compared to the inner corner. So I can see a bit of this incline, and I like to see where is the highest point of the eye. So it's right here in the center. You can see this point right here. It's the highest. It's a smooth curve right here. And for the bottom, you can see that it flattens a bit here, and then it dips down again. So just with a draw sharp brush, what you want to do is you don't want to pull this out. You don't want to make the eyelids in this case. Okay, this is a female face. This is an Asian female face. So what we will do is we will just dig inside. Okay, so just dig inside. I to show you that it's a smooth curve up here. It starts high, it ends low. Then we have this shape. Then we have this flat area in the bottom, and yeah, this looks good. And yeah, you can see it sort of already looks Asian. The distance between them is almost one eye. So let's move this here. And from the bottom view, just make sure that it has a round form. Okay, but this is because the eyelids, of course, they wrap around the eyeball and it needs to be round. But this is not super round and you don't have to eyeball this. So what you want to do is just dig this in, dig. The inner part of this, wherever you sculpt it, just dig it in, dig. And then from the front view, just make a UV sphere, right click, shade smooth, go to the front view and scale it down, place it over here, make it a bit smaller than the, oh boy, make it a bit smaller than the actual cavity you made. And from the side view, you want to place it right here. Okay, and just make sure that you place it a bit above. Okay, this is to ensure that the eye has this natural line, this natural angle. You can see it over here as well. Okay, but in this case, it's not that prominent. But yeah, the eyes generally, they do have a bit of this angle. All right, and yeah, I told you no need to eyeball this, so just place an eyeball and just select your sculpt and wrap around the eyeball that you just made. Okay, I think we can move this a bit here, a bit forward as well. Yeah, just wrap this around the eyeball. Look at the shape of the eye. Yeah, this looks very far off from the reference. Let's scale this down a bit. This part of the eye is always very sharp. Okay, this angle change, just make it sharp. Let's bring it out. Yeah, just try to have an equal thickness around the eye. Okay, so just look at the shape of the eye. The outer corner is higher than the inner corner. Okay, it dips in. Yeah, just the shape of the lower eyelid here. This part you really want to sharpen this. Okay, and also another thing you want to know, that the upper eyelid, it always overlaps the lower eyelid. So just cut in a bit and then smooth it. Okay, you just want this overlap of the upper eyelid on the lower eyelid. And yeah, you can see that it looks very Asian now. So over here, I just want to add a mirror modifier. Nope, not geometry nodes. Search mirror, yes. Select the face. And yes, we have something that resembles Asian eyes. Now the lower eyelid, it's not this long. So let's tighten this up a bit. You can smooth this area. Use the draw sharp. Just subtly cut below this, okay, to make this lower eyelid shape. And yeah, I think it's time we start adding a bit more detail to the nose. So from the bottom view, you just want to cut in the nostrils. They're not full circles like this, but more like a bean shape, like this. Okay, just take it in. You can also see that the nose here has a very prominent thick ring around it. So let's do that. Let's bring it down. And yeah, you'd really want to dig here, okay, behind this nostril. The reason I say this is just try touching yourself. So take a thumb and yeah, look, you can touch behind your nostril. Okay, so there is going to be a lot of space here. Okay, it needs to protrude out a bit. And smooth around it. Don't smooth on this, but smooth around it. Okay. Yep, looks good. Let's make this a bit straight. You can see that it's quite straight here. Let's round this a bit. Yeah, she does have sort of a big nose, but yeah, never mind. Let's look at the side view. Yes, from the side view, I can see that I need to curve this a bit. Okay, make this a bit more tipped like this. Pull in this behind. Better. I'm still not happy with the shape of the jaw. I think the neck can be a bit thinner. Jaw can be a bit brought down here. Just reducing the overall thickness, width of the face. I just want to make sure that the eyes have almost equal thickness around them. Yeah, the chin can be a bit narrow. Yeah, always make sure that from the width of the chin back to the jaw, it's a straight line. It shouldn't be wobbly like this. Okay, so it should be a relatively straight line. Smoothing the edges a bit. Yeah, from the side you eyes again, just once again, I want to make sure of the forehead proportion that I did. So here and here. Upper lip ahead, chin almost there. Yeah, this looks fine actually. Okay, the shape of the eyes, bro. I think we can make them a bit smaller. Just like the reference. And for this area, what you can do is you can use the scrape brush. So the scrape fill brush here. Just flatten the bottom like this. Just to give it a bit more thickness. Make sure just move it around so that you have equal thickness around the eye. You can also use the draw sharp just to cut in here a bit, so it feels like it's wrapping around it. Again, you can also pull out a bit on the edges and just smooth in between. I think the eyes can be a bit smaller. Yeah, like I said, bro, never ever shy away from adjusting your proportions. All right, looks good. Now this part is a bit hollow. We need to fill this up. We're just using the clay strips brush to fill up this area. Since this is a female, this is going to be very chubby. Females tend to have a lot of fat here. So I will just add mass here. Smooth things out. Okay, also here you can see the bridge of the nose. So here. And yeah, don't smooth between the creases. Okay, just smooth around them. It will always give you the most natural transition. Okay, just smooth around these forms that you make. Over here as well. The female should be very, very smooth. You can see how much difference that made. So just adding a bit more volume and smoothing it out. Just make sure you don't have any sharp lines in the female face like this. So this shouldn't exist. This will make your female look very old. Let's finalize the lips. I think we can make them more plump. So what I would like to do is just move them into position first. Okay, smooth them a bit. Yeah, once you're happy with the shape, just use the crease polish brush and crease between them. Good. You can also use the draw brush. Just emphasize a bit of the upper lip. Okay, just make it a bit more plump. And also on the lower lip. Okay, so from the side view, you should see that they are plump. So in this case, you can bring this a bit more forward, flatten this a bit. The lower lip looks okay. And yeah, once you're at this stage, okay, you can also add some more details. So for example here, to make the lips more plump, you can add a cut here on the upper lip. So basically you divide it into three shapes, this one and these two. So these two and this one. Okay, so just subtly cut through here, smooth a bit, and the lower lip just cut in between, then smooth it. You can also use the draw sharp brush to make a bit of this separation on the lower lip, and of course smooth out the details very subtly. You can also use the draw brush right here on the edges of the female lips and just smooth them. Okay, so add a bit of a volume here and just smooth the bottom edges of the bottom lip. Okay, very important. You can also dig a bit here and just smooth. Yep, looks so much better. What I don't like is it's fine actually. Yeah, another thing that you can check, always check, is notice the change in the angle of the jaw right here. Okay, you want to see where is this. So it's almost in line with the lower lip. If I look at it in my sculpt, you can see that it's way below the lower lip. So right here, I will move this jaw up. Okay, and I will align this angle change, with the lower lip a bit. And of course, adjust things in the middle. Okay, so always use a reference. I cannot emphasize this enough. The eyes are a bit big, but it looks okay actually. I don't mind big eyes. But if you don't want them to be this big, you can always use the pinch brush. Where's the pinch brush? Pinch brush. And you can reduce their size. Bring them a bit forward. Okay, reduce the size of the eyes. Okay, you can do this. Oh, this looks not bad either. I think I'll just stick with this then. Okay, just adjusting the shape of the eyes one last time. Again, not trying to be 100%, but as long as I'm in the ballpark, I am completely happy. Okay, you want to realize that likeness sculpture it's a completely different skill. And you can look at any of your favorite artists when they are sculpting live or when they are sculpting for short times, like how long has it been? 1 hour. It resembles the reference. Sometimes we get lucky, I get lucky. It resembles a lot. But as long as I'm in the ballpark, it's absolutely fine. We wanted to make an Asian female face. We have an Asian female face. Okay. I want to make this separation right here. So I'll just use the draw sharp brush and I'll cut in like this. Okay. And then of course, smooth it subtly around the edges. The lower lip again. even this out, wrap this around evenly. Yeah, I showed you in so many examples that the upper eyelid crease, it did not exist, but in this case it does. So we will make it as well. Okay, and a trick that I have to make the upper eyelid, let me just roughly adjust this. Yep, good. So what you can do is you can use the crease sharp brush. Where's the crease sharp? Yeah, crease sharp. And you can press Shift S. So Shift S basically enables stabilize stroke. If this does it for you, you can go to stroke here and you tick this stabilize stroke. So enable it, and right here you can just follow along the shape of the reference. I think it looks like this. Yeah, it has this sort of shape. So let me undo again. Start here. Trace it around the eye. Now this doesn't look good. I think I should increase the strength a bit. So Shift F to increase the strength a bit. Let's try it again now. This should be closer. Oh boy. Yep. Oh boy. I need a very steady hand for this. Let's do this with patience. Here, closer. This goes up. Yep. Okay, I'm happy with this. Just use the move brush to subtly adjust this a bit as well. You can just roughly smooth it as well. Let it just smooth around it, don't smooth on it. You can use the draw sharp brush to just emphasize this a bit more. Pull out a bit above this, just smooth around it. Just using the draw brush to even this out a bit. Use the crease brush. Just crease here. I'm using the crease polish brush now. And yes, with that said, we are done with the Korean face. Oh, Asian face. I don't know if this is Korean or what. Yeah, one more thing you can do for female faces is you can dig a bit here. So right here, you can see this contour shape. Okay, you can see this shadow. You can see this sort of contour. Let me draw it with my mouse for you. So yeah, you can see this contour thingy right here. You see it going right here. So to have this, you can just use the draw brush. You can either pull a bit out above here, smooth it out, or you can also dig a bit below. So start from the ear, come halfway the face, halfway, okay, and then smooth it out. Be very careful not to overdo this. If you overdo this, it's going to look like she's malnutrition. She hasn't eaten for days. So be very careful when you do this. Now I'm going to adjust the angle of the jaw a bit. Just making a bit more full of face. Checking from the bottom view. Okay, always make sure that the features of the face are round. Okay? And yes, with that said, this is the end of the tutorial. Leave a comment, let me know how did you like this. If you want more, just subscribe, and if you want more in-depth courses, then of course go ahead, check out the DaVinci School. It's linked in the description, and it's also on a promotion right now, so you can lock this price for life. Let me just show you around a bit. This is what the community is going to look like. You can go ahead to the community tab and you will see people, everyone practicing, sharing their work, giving each other feedback. A very good place to be, to surround yourself with like-minded people. You go to the classroom section, you get all of these courses at your disposal. If you level up, you can also get a one-on-one call with me, where I will help you personally with anything, just you and me. If you go to the calendar section, you have weekly sculpting workshops. We will sculpt the same reference. At the end, I will give you feedback on how to improve. We also have weekly calls where you can share me anything, bro. If you're struggling with productivity, if you're a procrastinator, if you're a Jerry, I will help you not be a Jerry. If you need feedback with anything, I will give you feedback. Just show me your sculpt. I will give you feedback. Send it to me. I will sculpt it for you. Yeah, this is a very good place to be. And yep, that is pretty much it. So goodbye. I will see you next time. Here's a fist bump. Goodbye.